Alright, terrorist. Are really public aware that how people keep frightening or I mean that they keep frightening or attacking people for have their loot or goods handed in and a more territory expansion. It means that they want to grow up into a new country or a new national to fight back the powerful states. And so this talk, and we are going to really deep drilling about that, how terrorists or terrorism will affect us, including me, including you who are watching this video. So that's at first. And I'm Larry from Hong Kong, and she's Serena, also from Hong Kong. And so at first, we are going to talk about that. Why does terrorism exist? Do you mind help me and explain, Serena?
Yes, yes, of course. So, terrorism actually is a kind of threat that the terrorists wanted to draw attention from the government of the world, and they want to let the whole world to pay attention to them. And they have tried to fight for what they believe and also to protect their rights by using extreme violence, because they have no any choice to do that. The states, the government won't listen to their opinions. So they also fight against the rebellions. The main reason that they chose to using violence because government actually won't, and they are not free to listen to their opinions, and they want to express their opinions using violence, and they want to draw attention. So actually there are several types of terrorism too, and Larry will talk about it.
So at first, that bioterrorism, from the name you also heard about bio, that means biological, and terrorism, that means that to frighten people or execute people. From bioterrorism, that means how do they attack is they releases some toxic gases to harm or frighten or terrorize civilizations from all over the place. So the second type is also called the cyber terrorism, and from also that's really from the name you know that cyber, that means that it's a high technological. So that's how do they really frighten people or attack civilizations is that using information technology to attack people. For example, that the terrorist will hack into the government's main core computer and shut down the whole system, the economic system, the politicals, even they can hack in their news to talk about that how do they attack, and they force the government to bribe money, or even that they call people back to doing as to frighten the government. And even that the third, nuclear terrorism and nuclear technology is right now a really advanced, an advanced technology that's really in a mass explosion, destructive thing that you may even that you also can kill all the whole country of people. So how do they attack? Is that they use different types of nuclear materials to attack civilizations, or really atomic nuke bomb and just throw into Japan and you just crush them into pieces. So at the last that we are going to talk about is eco-terrorism. That means that using violence to harm the places that are surrounding the regions of terrorism, is that they use the plan to keep slowly expanding their territory. At the last, they will become something like a country or a region, or frighten the whole world of people. You need to worship in front of their own gods. So that's all of them, and we also need to. They also have types of terrorism, lots of types of terrorism we didn't know. So that's. But what are their main purpose to attack the civilized countries? So how about that? Will you think about something of their objectives?
Yes. I think the main objective is that they wanted to gain more money because they really don't have any job in this community, and because they have no enough knowledge that no company will employ them. So they decide to have terrorism to gain more money. And besides, they want to attract the international attentions and also to recruit the new members from different countries. They also want to force the state into repressive reactions, and when the government feel scared and the government don't know what should they do, and people will start to don't believe the government, and the government will be, and the citizens will discredit the government. Also, the economy of the state will also dramatically decrease because of the continued violence. And also, the terrorism may also polarize the public to simplify the debates and arguments. So, there are some common terrorist leaders in this world. And Larry, do you know who is the common terrorist leaders in this world?
All right. So that we all knew that is all about who are the main character of every terrorism attack or every terrorism regions or the leaders of it. So first now we are talking about that is the dead one. It's called that Osama bin Laden, who was the former leader of Al-Qaeda. And this is a really serious problem because he keeps staying in his mansion for years. But actually his mansion, we have looked at for the news, is really not a mansion. It's just really high. This is a free floor building surrounded by other buildings. And for that, the serious problem is that the people, it means their defenses units who need to protect Laden are really weak, or they're really just like daydreaming or something. They can let the US Army use the least force, just only a little bit, and they can kill the leader of Al-Qaeda. And so after that, the whole thing is almost crushed into pieces. And let's talk about the modern civilization nowadays, the modern terrorism nowadays. So right now, the ISIS, the really popular and frightened and horrible terrorist authority, its leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, that is the leader of ISIS. And actually his face is just really looked at like a normal school person and a normal professor in any universities. So we all have talked about that. Who are the leaders? But what will the leaders do, and why would they frighten us? What are the reasons? Now, for example, that in 2001, Laden has attacked the terrorist. Laden attacked the Twin Towers in somewhere like the US in 9/1 and the 9th of November. This is a really pretty serious problem because it may cause a chaotic action to all of the people who are just nearby, and just have lots of deaths, including firefighters who are going to save people. And talk about that last year, that the ISIS keep caught people and executing people. And the most serious problem that is that a jet pilot who's crashed in Syria and just they got caught back, but their last decision to really the way to execute these people is not all cut off their necks or chop off their necks. They're even more violent. Is that they are burning people alive. That's really a serious problem and we just only heard that the victim keeps screaming around all the places. Either that, the 2013, the Boston Marathon bombing, they just used only a simple briefcase inside with some explosive materials inside, and then they can make a really chaotic action. Really, another chaotic action is happening, and lots of people lost their limbs. Either that their face are totally lost, and lots of deaths. Either that the 2015, that means this year's, the Paris terror attack, because that's the publisher of that the Paris comic company. They just keep sarcastic about they really just laughed about that ISIS, their region, and the gods of the region. So that's how the terrorist group attack all the terrorist regions, or either that